Imagine being a young child and seeing your father shot by a police officer. This image would forever play in your head. That's exactly what PTSD is. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a terrifying or life-scarring event that continues to play in your head over and over again, and you may not be able to forget it. Those who have PTSD or have experienced a life-terrifying event, they sometimes cannot recuperate from what has happened to them. Many rely on medications to help them to get back to their normal life. Now doctors have been using microdosages of hallucinogens to help PTSD patients, and now these hallucinogens have been proven to help people. What is PTSD? PTSD is a serious mental disease that triggers thoughts, flashbacks, or nightmares about a terrifying event. As time goes on, those affected may not be able to cope or get back to their normal lives. Not all signs of post-traumatic stress disorder happen right away, but as time increases, those signs will continue to show up and will continue to get worse. There are 3 different types of symptoms that you can have. You can have obstructive, which takes over your thoughts, or avoidance of situations, negative moods or thoughts, and behavioral changes. Instructive thoughts are reoccurring nightmares or horrible events. You have dreams about what have happened, and then your reactions, and you have very distressed to certain situations. Avoidance, you avoid people, places, or things that remind you of what has happened. And then mood changes, you're always on high alert, your behavior has gotten worse, and you feel emotionless about things, and you lack interest in activities that used to bring interest to you. What is a hallucinogen? A hallucinogen is a medication that deceives a person's thought, emotions, or coherence of what is going on around them. Hallucinogens are a good resource for PTSD patients because for hours at a time, they're able to forget what has happened to them. Just think of a war veteran being able to forget that combat that he has seriously endured for years and just able to forget that for a little while. One type of medication is MDA. This is a drug that changes your mood and your awareness of what is around you. It is known as Molly or ecstasy and can come in tablets or liquid. And it increases energy and messes with your emotions and your perception. It is mainly used for recreational uses, but when named illegal in the U.S. in 1985. MAPS, which is the Multiple Disciplinary Association for Psychiatric Studies, funded an investigation that will show how well the drug can help patients. In this investigation, there were 20 people who have suffered with PTSD for a numerous amount of years, and they were placed into 2 groups. One was given the MDA drug, and the other was given a placebo. Those who received the real drug showed less or showed no signs of PTSD at all. 10 out of the 12 who were given the medicine no longer were required as PTSD patients. Another drug is LSD, which is a hallucinogen that in recent years has shown that it can help anybody with PTSD or anxiety or depression. And though this drug is illegal too, it is, in the experiments it has had, it has seemed to help people a lot more. These are testimonies of the people who were participating in that MAPS experiment. They were able to see tremendous change in their lives and what has gone around them. Most of them are saying that they have been able to live the best since they got on this medication that they have since their terrific accident. And these just are showing that the medications will help people if they get legalized. Even though these medications are really good for people, there are long-term and short-term effects. The long-term, you can have memory loss, weight loss, or depression. In short-term, you can have increased blood pressure, paranoia, and mixed senses. Opposing of the drug. Even though these are illegal, it is because what has happened in the past. These drugs were used the incorrect way, and people just think that these drugs don't need to be used anymore. But since these drugs can really help someone, it would be best if they would be legalized. And in studies, they have hoped that by 2020, they will be able to legalize MDMA so that people will be able to use it and more treatments can be done. What you should do. If you know someone who has PTSD, the best thing that you can do is to get them to talk to a professional. And though they may be very skeptical about it, if they show symptoms of PTSD, it is better to go ahead and get them to see the professional than to wait. I hope that you had learned from my speech on how awful PTSD is, and that knowing that there will be more treatments that will come for people who have been diagnosed. Even though these medications are illegal, they do help, and the studies have proved that. And like LDS, it helps with anxiety and depression, which is common among most teenagers. So if the drug gets legalized, it can also help PTSD patients, but also people who are suffering from other diseases. This concludes my speech.